Twitter is a big deal. Not only is it a popular social media platform, but it is also a valuable source of big data. Politicians are using Twitter to connect with their constituents more quickly than ever before. In addition to our president and his cabinet, all 100 U.S. senators and nearly all of our representatives have verified Twitter accounts. What if there were an easy way to keep tabs on what these politicians were tweeting? That's where CapitalTweets comes in.
Hi, I'm Dan Pasquale.
And I'm Rachel Perlman. After 4 weeks of development, CapitalTweets is finished.
CapitalTweets is a browser-enabled tool that visualizes interesting data from the tweets of politicians and their appointees.
The three main features of the tool are word frequency analysis, theme identification, and sentiment analysis.
We've leveraged several technologies for our project: the Twitter API, Python, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Tableau. First, we created a demographic spreadsheet with the demographic data, including age, gender, religion, and region, for each lawmaker or cabinet member in our study. We then obtained all statuses, the Twitter API calls a tweet a status, made by the accounts associated with each person of interest. To accomplish this, we used Tweepy, a Python script. This generated a JSON file for each user containing an object with all of the user's statuses. We used JavaScript tools to clean and consolidate the data. Word usage frequency for each user was counted. The end result was a large JSON file with word count information pertaining to each user. This was used for word frequency analysis and theme analysis. The theme scores provide an approximation of the degree to which each user discussed each theme. We generated a JSON file with the theme scores for all users. For sentiment analysis, the NPM package called Sentiment was used. The statuses made by each user were given a sentiment score based on the sum of the word scores in the statuses. To provide the data visualizations, we used Tableau. Tableau allowed us to create interactive visualizations using our word frequency, sentiment, and theme JSON files. Finally, we used an HTML and CSS template from the website templated.co to build a launchpad for users to view and interact with our data.
Here we present some findings from our analysis, starting with the demographics. As you can see here, the majority of women congressmen are Democrats as opposed to Republicans. With regard to age, Democrats have a slightly higher average age than Republicans. With regard to religion, Protestantism is the most popular religion, followed by Catholicism. With regard to word frequency, the most commonly used words used in the tweets of the users we looked at were today, about, great, and more. Trump in particular used the words great, think, Hillary, and his own name, Trump, the most. Next is theme identification. We defined a number of themes related to current issues by associating each theme with a set of keywords which we came up with. What we found was that of the themes we looked at, healthcare was by far the most commonly referred to theme. In particular, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan mentions healthcare the most. As you can see here, we also looked at what other users mentioned gender equality and racism the most. Next, we have sentiment analysis, which, as we described before, relates to how positive or negative the tweet text is. So something where positive words like happy or support are used are rated positively, while negative words like sad are rated negatively. What we found was that the average sentiment score across all users was 1.25. Certain politicians had much higher average sentiment scores than others. For instance, Betsy DeVos had the highest average sentiment score, and Representative Gonzalez had the lowest average sentiment score. So here we have the final product, the user interface for CapitalTweets. Each of these sections has a button where you can click on a different form of analysis that you may be interested in. So you can see we have 6 of them. The first one is the demographic table of politicians, which you see here provides various attributes about the users that we analyzed, including their party affiliation, etc. Next, we have the visualizations of the statistics of these same users, just to provide the same data about the demographics in a visual form. Third, we have the textual analysis, which is a word frequency chart. So here you can see on the left the most commonly used words, and then you can see which user has used those words across all of their tweet history. And if you want, you can click on a particular user of interest and only look at their word frequency count, as I'm doing here, which brings up the word usage for that specific user. Next, we have the theme identification. So if you could click on that, here we have a number of themes listed in the top row, and then far left you see the list of users. Each theme is represented by a different color in a different column, and the bigger the square, the larger the score for that theme was, so the more that user mentioned that theme. Next, we have the sentiment analysis. So here we present the sentiment scores for each user. At the bottom we provide some overall statistics on the sentiment scores. And lastly, we have an opportunity to remind you that it's important to write to your representative if you want to influence your local politicians.
Although it's not perfect, we hope users will find our tool both useful and entertaining. Now, because of our tireless efforts, Donald Trump's tweets will be less of a mystery.
Many people think Twitter is a place for users to express anger and outrage, but not always. As CapitalTweets shows, the word bipartisan was used over 10,000 times. The top two users of the words were Fred Upton, a Republican representative from Michigan, and John Delaney, a Democratic representative from Maryland.
Our project highlights the potential of using code to analyze publicly accessible data. We hope you enjoy using CapitalTweets.